Thanks for staying with us. Now we'll go to our TBC correspondent, Sharon Ijasan. She's actually at the Nigerian Port Authority in Apapa. Good morning, Sharon. Hello, Sharon. Okay, let's take a few comments on social media while we try to get Sharon back. YK, you have any comments there, or who has a comment?
Okay. Immaculate Boy, this is on Twitter, X. The FC must make the states accountable to the citizens. Governors are emperors, QED. Which tool is free in states? In states, judiciary, legislature, labor, union, local, which institution is independent at the state level? You need to, then Joseph Oluwasegun says, you need to know how people are coping all this while with the way the cost of living is so high, and there is no way some people can go to that place, to their place of work. Many people have lost their jobs because of all this.
Does that person talking, does that person think Labour is fighting for them? I mean, that's the question I like to the Nigerian people to. Do you really think that Labour right now is fighting for Nigerians? I mean, as we said, what are the terms they're asking for? Do you believe Labour is fighting for you?
Okay. That's a very, very valid question. I don't know the answer.
Okay, while you are thinking of the answer, let me take Sharon. I'm sure she's back now. Sharon, please tell me you're here.
Yeah, it's a bright morning here in Lagos, Nigeria, and we have members of the Nigerian Labour Congress, will I say picketing or making due to their words, which is that they wanted to embark on an industrial action today. Right now, I'm at the front of the Nigerian Port Authority, where we have workers in their numbers actually signifying or complying with the directive from the Nigerian Labour Congress, which is the headquarters that they are affiliated to, where they are actually ensuring that they say their minds about what the demands of their leaders are. And some of the demands that they have is that they want the federal government to actually review the minimum wage. And they are also concerned about the way the state government are going about sharing the palliative for Nigerians. They want to be involved, and according to the Nigerian Labour Congress, this is the reason why they are embarking on a 2-day warning strike, even though their counterpart Labour Center, the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, are not part of this industrial action. I have the Deputy President of Maritime Workers Union here on ground also. He will bring us up to speed on why the economic nerve of the country actually has to be shut down. So can you bring us up to speed on why we have your members out here this morning?
Yeah, my name is Comrade Francis Bunu, Deputy President General Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria. We are here because of the directive by our trade union, Nigerian Labour Congress, which is presently, we are asking for that let Nigerian workers to breathe. Allow the poor to be breathed, as Mr. President have said. Let him demonstrate it in his action. That is what we need. What we need, because what we are taking right now is not a living wage. It's no longer a living wage again. Let the federal government should look into every activities of this country and now know that he is the president as of today. He should be able to take charge and be able to do what is right for the Nigerian masses. That is why we are here. We are here for 2 days warning strike. It's for 2 days. For us to tell the federal government our grievances. For us to tell the government to have a listening ear. We are here to make sure that the common man should have a living wage for himself. That is why we are here.
Okay, that's the Deputy President of the Maritime Workers Union, and he's one of the people monitoring the strike action here in Lagos, Nigeria. For now, the protesting continues, which also means that they are not at work. So we're looking forward to what tomorrow would be like. Maybe the federal government would have probably had a sit-down with the Nigerian Labour Congress to discuss the issues that's emerging.
Sharon, I was going to ask, there was a sit-down on Monday and the Nigerian Labour Congress boycotted it. Is the gentleman aware of this boycott, and why was Labour not interested in that meeting? Would he know?
Well, the Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment, headed by the Minister for Labor, His Excellency Simon Lalong, held a meeting with Labor yesterday. Though NLC withdrew from the meeting, the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria was part of the meeting. And from my own observation from what transpired yesterday, the Nigerian Labour Congress refused to have a sit-down with the Federal Ministry of Labour because they believe that the timeline of discussions have elapsed and there's no reason why they should meet according to the Nigerian Labour Congress. But their counterpart, Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, ensured that they had a meeting with them, and the federal government reassured Nigerian workers that they would ensure that they do the needful to meet their demands. For example, the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria also highlighted that they need tax waivers for the federal government workers. So also the employers of labor or that the organized private sector would actually need interventions from the federal government. So with this on ground, of course, we know that the Nigerian Labour Congress will still have to sit on the table to ensure that it's a tripartite meeting, and so that the Nigerian workers will be at par with the government towards their dreams and desires will be for Nigerian workers.
Sharon, could you tell us if, during these meetings and the demands that have been put forward by NLC, if there's any part of the demands that have been met, if there's any sort of behavior to show that the federal government is not willing to listen to the other demands that are still on the table?
Well, so far, from my observation as a Labour correspondent, I wouldn't say the government has not been ready to do one or two things. For example, we've seen many state governments flag out palliative for Nigerian workers. However, what are the modalities where the Nigerian Labour Congress members carried alongside when these decisions were made? These are some of the things that are probably their grievances: a clear-cut communication. The government has promised that there's going to be a minimum wage, but the question is, when is there going to be a new minimum wage? The conversation for the new national minimum wage is supposed to be for the year 2024. We are in 2023. Inflation has skyrocketed in the economy, in the country right now. So this means that there is a need for a wage award, and that wage award will be with the discretion of the presidency and also the Federal Ministry of Finance. So now there are a lot of agitations from Nigerian workers and Nigerians themselves because they can barely have 3 square meals, but which also means that the government also has to ensure that whatever timeline that they give is actually being adhered to, so that there won't be any misconstruction or misinterpretation of what their dreams and desires would be for Nigerian workers. All in all, it's all about collective bargaining agreement, and also the government meeting up with a timeline that they actually would have agreed on with the Nigerian Labour Congress or the working force.
Okay, Sharon, I'd like to ask this one. I'm asking for your opinion, being that you're a Labour correspondent. I want to ask, based on your experience, if you believe that this strike is going to be effective, especially since the Trade Union Congress isn't joining. Do you think we would achieve anything with this sit-at-home, this strike, 2 days?
Well, the strike is effective. We know that we can't have all workers comply, but the truth remains that in every working force we have some key areas that are very essential. For example, we have the oil and gas workers, we have the workers in the maritime industry, we also have the road transport workers. So when these people do not come to work, it means a lot. I wouldn't want to quantify the amount of money that would actually be lost by the Nigerian Port Authority being shut down today. All the workers are outside at the moment. We don't have workers in the offices working. So whether we like it or not, it's an effective strike, even though activities are still ongoing in some other sector. But the strategy is, once you don't have tanker drivers working, you don't have workers in the maritime sector working, definitely the federal government is going to be losing a lot of money, and it's not something that anyone wants for it to tarry so long, because we have people who have their businesses and investments lying here, and every minute counts.
Some have suggested that this strike is quite convenient because of the fact that the tribunal would make an announcement concerning the election. The election tribunal will be announced tomorrow. What's your take on that?
Well, whether we like it or not, the tribunal dates, from my own observation or from my own learning as a journalist, is not something that is made public in good time. So, and the Nigerian Labour Congress has actually announced that they were going to embark on an two-day warning strike for more than a week now. So it's just a coincidence, maybe. But whatever the case may be, what matters is that the Nigerian people should be the one who would win, which is the fact that Nigerian workers deserve more, even though the federal government has its plans and an arrangement on what the welfare of workers should be. There is never a time that is so good than now for the Nigerian workers to get the best from the government, while the government also goes about ensuring that other sector of the economy also thrives.
Okay.
So all the people standing around you, are they from the NLC or they are from the Ports Authority?
They're from the Nigerian Labour Congress. It's a mix-up of workers, but we have more of the people from the Maritime Workers Union here.
If they're from Labour, we'd like to speak to one of them. If they're from Labour, I'd like to speak to one of them. If they can just clarify what exactly they hope to achieve by the end of tomorrow. So, the federal government, what exactly do they hope to get by tomorrow, by the end of tomorrow?
So it's a two-day warning strike. What more would you be expecting from the federal government? We can see that the Nigerian Port Authority is actually shut down at the moment, and we also have some of the banking sector and aviation workers also complying to this strike action called by the national body. What are your hopes and aspirations? Do you want to continue till tomorrow? What do you think the government can do to ensure that everybody goes back to work?
It's a 2 days warning strike. What we want for the federal government is to come back to the table and be able to open the negotiation with a sincere heart, with a sincere mind, with a sincere purpose for the common man. We are talking about that what you are doing, it does not go well with the common man. Not that you are giving the state government 5 billion. When you give the state government 5 billion, who and who will they give? They will give to their political what? Brothers and sisters. And that is all. So the common man still remain the same. And apart from that, it's not just only the government workers who are Nigerians. There are other Nigerians who are doing petty trading, who are doing a lot of things on the street. So therefore, what we want the government to have a sincere heart, sincere purpose for Nigerian Labour Congress. And it's a 2 days warning strike, no more going back.
Okay.
We've heard from the Deputy President of the Maritime Workers Union here in Lagos, Nigeria. It's a 2-day warning strike. Only time will tell if they will still continue by tomorrow.
All right. Thank you very much, Sharon. Thank you so much for
Can I take some comments?
Let's take a few comments.
Yes. This is on X. Lalong says, NLC is partisan, so not something to discuss. The palliative we need is on transportation, school fees, hospitals, good roads, strong economy that will build a strong naira and not a salary increment that will lead to general increment and hardship. He says, if a state can't pay terribly low minimum wages, we pay the terribly low minimum we pay in Nigeria. Why is it a state? Such a state can apply to the FD to be merged with a neighboring state.
Okay, well, I mean, it's
Just our conversation.
And there are a lot of comments on...
we have to wrap up.
Muritala says, we all know how COVID palliative went, despite the fact that the palliative is not from the government post.
Thank you for working on this issue, because from what I'm hearing, even for the men talking to behind Sharon, it's not so much about the inability for federal government to respond. It's the palliative, that palliative that was sent to the states. The fact that the state chapters were not involved. It's not that federal government is not listening to us. You send palliative. We are not part of the process of distribution. We are not part of it. That is the real issue. And I think maybe the state government should bring labor within their various chapters in their state to a conversation.
It would be interesting to find out how the state chapters engage with the state governments, actually. I mean, are they given the same access the way at the federal level? You know, the federal level has power, has influence. At the state chapters, do they have that power and influence with the state government to be able to have conversations with them?
Yeah, but you see, the thing, for me, this palliative, I would have thought, go to the farms, go and give those ones subsidy, the farmers. I was listening to the news today, the Edo State government, bus fare, bus transportation is free
okay.
from 6:30 to 7 p.m. every day.
Work time.
Those are the kind of things.
Yes.
You know, when you say go and distribute rice, it will enter inside.
Yes, of course.
5 billion.
Voice me.
You know?
All right, that's all we can take on this segment concerning labor. We'll continue to monitor the stories. Our correspondents are out there, and we're going to be seeing across the various states to see how people are complying with the NLC's directive. Let's go on a break now. We'll come back and move on to the final segment of today's show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.